Every time you set a big goal for your future, you're signing a contract with yourself to be miserable until you hit it. Set the wrong goal and congratulations, you've ruined your entire life. Chances are you're already living this. It's that heavy feeling of falling behind when you aren't closing the gap between who you are right now and who you want to become in the future. When you're slowly losing the ability to enjoy the present because you tell yourself
you haven't earned it yet.
That's the contract kicking in. You signed it the moment you decided you want something, and now you're paying the price every single day you aren't there yet. You tell yourself that life will finally begin once you achieve it all, but some of the most successful people have climbed to the top only to realize that the contract was never worth signing in the first place. This is Agassi, one of the greatest tennis players in the world. During his career, he won 869 professional matches, was ranked number 1 in men's singles for 101 weeks, and received 8 Grand Slam titles paired with an Olympic gold medal. A true icon, he achieved everything an athlete could ever dream of. Yet after all of this, he admitted that throughout his career,
I never chose tennis. Most controversial thing in my book came on page 1, that I hated tennis.
Turns out, being number 1 was never his own dream, it was his father's. He was the one who forced this upon him, but once you're in so deep, it's hard to notice it and get out.
Right, it didn't mean that I wasn't good at it, but you can be motivated through 2 things in your life, fear or love, and it was fear that was driving me.
So ask yourself, when exactly did you decide that this is what you need? If there was no money involved and no one was watching, would you still want it just as much?
But in a world where you could have everything, why would you ever settle for less? What you need is a 6-figure salary, millions of followers, a six-pack, definitely no 9-to-5. You need your own business. Turn your hobby into a career and monetize it as much as you can. But don't spend any of your hard-earned money yet. You need to invest. Get that passive income while you sleep so you can retire early and travel around the world.
We're constantly surrounded by 1,000 different voices telling us what a successful life is supposed to look like. Suddenly, you risk spending your best years chasing something that was never even meant for you, wondering why it never feels like enough. All you can do with regard to your own life is choose the best path that you believe in. On the other hand, what kind of judgment do other people pass on that choice? That is the task of other people, and is not a matter you can do anything about. So choose carefully, because not every goal deserves your suffering. But when you finally find the one that does, understand that the suffering itself is optional. I feel like this is a great time to tell you about the Human Depth newsletter. If you want to receive an inspiring personal letter from me every single month, then you can find a link down below.
There's a little thought exercise I like to do, which is put yourself in the exact position you were in 5 years ago, 10 years ago, 15 years ago, 20 years ago, and see if there's any advice you'd give yourself, anything you'd do differently. I would have done everything the same, except I would have done it with less anger, less emotion, less internal suffering, because that was optional, it wasn't necessary.
I once read that suffering is simply wanting reality to be different than it is. That it doesn't come from the hard work itself, but rather because the story in your head doesn't align with the way you're currently living. You're convinced that this version of your life is just temporary, that the real one will begin sometime in the future. But how can you give your best to this journey when you're so disappointed that you're still on it? Complaining about the rain won't affect the weather. It only wastes the energy we need to find shelter. Trust me, everything changes when you put your ego aside and stop arguing with reality. Then you can finally focus on making the right decisions today, because that's the only thing that matters. You try, you fail, you learn, you adjust, and you do it all again, over and over, until one day, the vision that only existed in your head becomes the life you're actually living.
I've often said that I wished people could realize all their dreams and wealth and fame so that they could see that it's not where you're going to find your sense of completion. No matter what you gain, ego will not let you rest. It will tell you that you cannot stop until you've left an indelible mark on the earth, until you've achieved immortality. How tricky is this ego that it would tempt us with the promise of something we already possess?
I know it's cliche, but turns out the journey is actually all there is. Because most goals don't really have a finish line, just the one you drew in your head. The same one you keep moving a little further every time you get close. I think the purpose of it all is to choose what kind of life you're willing to live on your most ordinary days. A goal is simply a direction, nothing more. It's like planning a road trip. You need a destination exciting enough to make you start driving, but once you're moving, you can't spend the entire journey staring at the map, waiting to arrive. You have to look out the window and enjoy the view, because when you arrive, you probably won't even want the same things anymore. The person who reaches that goal will have changed along the way. The destination will have shifted, and with it comes a new goal,
A new contract, and a new version of the same game.